Hey everyone, welcome back and नमस्ते सबैजनालाई स्मिथ सचिन श्रेष्ठ आज पनि तपाईहरुको साथमा न्यू रियाक्सन भिडियो लिएर म उपस्थित भइसकेको छु एन्ड एकदमै गर्मीको माहौल छ आफ्नो ख्याल गर्नु होला हैन म पनि एकदम धेरै आफुलाई चिसो बनाएर बसेको छैन सो आज भने म चाहिँ तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ एउटा यस्तो हाम्रो नेपालको हिस्ट्री आई मिन वीर गोर्खाली हामी नेपाली भनेर हामी सबैलाई थाहा छ विश्वलाई थाहा छ हैन सो मैले यसै विषयको सन्दर्भमा मैले युट्युब हेर्दा एउटा मैले भिडियो देखेँ जुन सिम्पल हिस्ट्री लेखेको एउटा युट्युब च्यानलमा चाहिँ वाइ आर गोर्खा द मोस्ट ब्याडास वारियर इन द वर्ल्ड हैन किन यति खतरनाक छ त नेपाली वीर गोर्खाली भनेर चाहिँ यो भिडियोले प्रेजेन्ट गराएको रहेछ हैन यो भिडियोको जुन मैले हेरिहालेँ हैन तपाईलाई चाहिँ जुन कुरा मैले यो अहिलेसम्म नबुझेको कुरा यो भिडियोबाट बुझेँ मैले सो हजुरलाई पनि मलाई देखाउन मन लाग्यो सो यो भिडियो हामी आज हेर्दैछौं रियाक्सन गर्दैछौं सो लेट्स गो गाइज
What would you do if 1,600 heavily armed soldiers surrounded your position? Most of us would wave the white flag faster than you can say, I surrender. But for the legendary Gurkha warriors of Nepal,
Gurkha warrior,
isn't
Nepal.
in their vocabulary. In this video, we're diving into the extraordinary story of the Gurkhas, the mountain warriors so formidable that even their enemies sometimes stop shooting at them just to applaud their bravery. No, seriously, that actually happened. The year was 1814.
British to release and India the abdi भन्दा नि बढी भइसक्यो रहेछ नि त
Imperial Pac-Man
टक्क नेपालमा आउने बेलामा
hungry eyes towards the mountain kingdom of Nepal. What could possibly go
Challenge.
wrong? Oh, only that they were about to face warriors who treated death like most of us treat a minor inconvenience. The Battle of Nalapani would prove just how seriously the Gurkhas took their job. Perched in a hill fort 600 feet up, a mere 600 Gurkhas faced off against 1,600 British troops. The math wasn't in their favor, but apparently nobody told them that. For over a month, this small force held their ground. By the end of the first assault in late October, 35 British soldiers were dead, wounded, taken down by Nepalese matchlock weapons, and, wait for it, stones thrown by women and children. That's right, British Empire a headache. As British artillery slowly picked them off, the Gurkhas still November. Of the original 600 defenders, only 68 remained. Some had even managed to escape despite being completely surrounded, probably just to prove they could. The British, who normally responded to resistance by doubling down on conquest, did something unusual. They started the military equivalent of saying, if you can't beat them, hire them. And it's a practice that continues to this day. Thapa, the man the enemy applauded. Born around 1888 in the tiny Himalayan village of Nigalpani, Kulbir Thapa found himself at the Battle of Loos in France in September 1915. There, his unit of the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Gurkha Rifles, had the delightful task of clearing German trenches while wearing gas masks. Not exactly optimal fighting conditions. By the end of their push, Thapa was injured and the last man standing from his group. Most of us would consider this a good time to call it a day, but Thapa spotted a wounded British soldier from the 2nd Regiment. Despite the soldier's pleas to leave him behind, which would have been the sensible thing to do, Thapa stayed with him all day and night. When morning came, he used the mist as cover to carry the man to safety. Then, as if it wasn't enough, he went back and rescued 2 more Nepalese soldiers. But wait, there's more. For his grandfather, the original wounded soldier in broad daylight. And German machine gunners targeted him, but somehow every shot missed. At one point, and this is completely true, the German soldiers were so impressed, they stopped firing and broke into applause. Yeah, that's right. In the middle of one of history's bloodiest conflicts, Thapa's bravery was so remarkable that the enemy took a moment to appreciate it. He became the first Nepalese soldier to receive the Victoria Cross, his highest military honor.
Gurung, the one-man army.
March 5th, 1945. Rifleman Banubakta Gurung,
Rifleman.
2nd Gurkha Rifles, were approaching a Japanese position in Burma when they were pinned down by machine gun fire. Then a sniper started picking them off from a tree 75 yards away. Most people's reaction would be to get lower and to the ground, perhaps dig a hole with their bare hands. Not Gurung. He simply stood up as casual as if he were ordering coffee and shot the sniper dead. With the squad able to advance to within 20 yards of their objective, they discovered at least 5 enemy foxholes blocking their path. Gurung apparently decided that this was taking too long, sprang forward through a hailstorm of bullets. What followed was essentially the 1940s equivalent of a video game boss run. Foxhole number 1, 2 grenades, enemies neutralized. Foxhole number 2, 1 bayonet charge, enemy dispatched. Foxholes number 3 and number 4, more bayonet work and grenades, while being shot at from point-blank range. But the final boss, a light machine gun position with 3 soldiers, remained. Having used all his fragmentation grenades, Gurung improvised with smoke grenades. When 2 blinded Japanese soldiers ran out clutching their eyes, he introduced them to his kukri knife, the curved blade that's as iconic to the Gurkhas as a lightsaber is to a Jedi. For the 3rd soldier, Gurung crawled back into the bunker, snuck up behind him, and ended the threat. Then, anticipating a counterattack, he and his men held the position and repulsed the enemy response. For turning what should have been a squad effort into a one-man show, Gurung received the Victoria Cross. Lachiman Gurung, the one-armed defender. If you thought that was impressive, meet Lachiman Gurung of the 8th Gurkha Rifles. In the early morning of May 13th, 1945, Gurung was manning a lookout position near the Irrawaddy River in Burma when Japanese soldiers decided to play, let's throw grenades at the Gurkha. The first grenade landed on the rim of his trench. Gurung threw it back like he was returning an unwanted package. A second one landed inside his trench. He tossed that one away too. When a 3rd grenade appeared, he grabbed it, but this time it exploded in his hand. In an instant, his fingers were blown off, his right arm was shattered, and his face, body, and right leg were severely wounded. His 2 comrades lay badly injured. Most soldiers would consider this a medical emergency. Gurung saw it as a minor setback. With only his left arm functioning, he somehow managed to load and fire his rifle. As Japanese troops rushed his position. For the next 4 hours, he repelled wave after wave of attackers while shouting, "Come and fight a Gurkha!" Which is probably the last invitation you'd want to accept. By dawn, 31 Japanese corpses lay in front of his position. His one-man defense had prevented the enemy from breaking through the entire line. For this almost superhuman feat, he too was awarded the Victoria Cross. Diprasad Pun, the modern Gurkha legend. Do you think these stories are just relics of a bygone era? Meet Acting Sergeant Diprasad Pun of the 1st Battalion Royal Gurkha Rifles. On September 17, 2010, Pun was on watch at a compound in Afghanistan when he heard a noise that he initially thought was a cow. Spoiler alert, it wasn't a cow. It was Taliban fighters setting up an IED at the compound gate. What followed was 17 minutes of pure action movie material. Except this was real life. Alone in the pitch black, Pun fired 250 machine gun rounds, emptied 6 magazines from his rifle, and hurled 17 grenades and a claymore mine at approximately 15 attackers coming from multiple directions. When they got too close for conventional weapons, he beat them away with the machine gun tripod. At one point, he even dropped a sandbag on the head of an enemy climbing up to his position, like a deadly version of Home Alone. Throughout the fight, he motivated himself by shouting, "Marchi Talai," Nepalese for "I'll kill you," which in the circumstances was less a threat and more of a spoiler alert for the Taliban. When the dust settled, 3 attackers were dead and the rest had fled. A wise decision when facing a Gurkha. Pun was awarded the conspicuous Gallantry Cross, Britain's 2nd highest combat honor. From the mountains of Nepal to battlefields across the world, the Gurkhas have built a reputation as some of the most formidable warriors on the planet. Their motto might as well be death before surrender, but preferably the enemy's death. What makes these stories even more remarkable is that these weren't superhuman giants. Most Gurkhas stand around 5'3" to 5'7", or 1.6 to 1.7 meters tall. What they lack in height, they make up for with courage that seems to defy human instinct. Today, Gurkhas continue to serve in the British Army and the Indian Army, maintaining their legendary status. The rigorous selection process to become a Gurkha remains one of the toughest in the world, with thousands of young Nepalese men competing for just a few hundred positions each year. So the next time you're faced with overwhelming odds, remember the Gurkha way. Stand your ground, face the enemy, and if all else fails, maybe drop a sandbag on their head. If you enjoyed this video on the incredibly brave Gurkha warriors, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and let us know in the comments which of these heroic actions impressed you the most.
सो एभ्रिवान म त एउटै होइन यो हेर्दा समेत होइन सिरिङ सिरिङ भएको के कस्तो हुनाले नि हामी नेपाली वीर पुर्खा वीरताको चिनो होइन एउटा छुट्टै छ के नेपाललाई होइन वीर गोर्खालीको देश भनेर त्यसै चिनेको होइन कि हाम्रो कति धेरै विश्वयुद्धहरूमा हाम्रो कति धेरै ठुलो योगदान रहेछ त नेपालीहरूको हरेक युद्धहरूमा ब्रिटिसहरूले कति इन्डिया यति ठुलो राष्ट्रलाई त्याग्न सक्ने ब्रिटिसहरूले नेपाललाई छुन पनि सकेन अलिकति सिमानामा खुट्टा गाड्न पनि सकेन कि हामी यो हो कि हाम्रो नेपालको इतिहास अहिले आएर चाहिँ होइन अलिकति नेपाली हौँ भन्न नि कस्तो लाग्छ कि किन थाहा छ हाम्रो नेपाल यति धेरै ब्याडासको कुरा आयो नि होइन एकदमै ब्याडास कन्डिसनमा पुगिसकेको छ कि हामीलाई एउटा नेपाली हौँ भन्ने गर्व पनि आजभोलि होइन हाम्रो यो अहिलेको हालको राजनैतिक अवस्थाले गर्दा चाहिँ हाम्रो नेपालीपन नेपालीत्व भन्ने कुराहरू नै अलिकति यिनीहरूले नै गुमाइदिन थालिसकेको छ कि मान्ने मान्छेले मानिरहेको छन् त्यही पनि जे होस् मलाई यो भिडियो एकदम धेरै मन पर्यो होइन हामीले किताबमा पढिरहेको कुराहरू अझै त्यो बेलामा कस्तो थियो होला त्यो दिन त्यो समय ओ माई गॉड सो हजुरहरूलाई कस्तो लाग्यो त यो भिडियो एन्ड आजको मेरो यो रियाक्सन कस्तो लाग्यो तपाईँहरूलाई तपाईँले सल्लाह सुझाव दिन सक्नुहुन्छ र मेरो युट्युब च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब पनि गरिदिनु होला म आउने दिनमा अझै राम्रो राम्रो भिडियोहरू लिएर आउनेछु हजुरहरूको साथमा र अहिलेको लागि भने म बिदा माग्न चाहन्छु एन्ड जय नेपाल जय गोर्खाली जय नेपाली इतिहास भेट्नेछु अर्को भिडियोमा